Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the Appalachian Mountains, fields and streams. From those white-tailed bucks strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where those dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The coyotes run all night. It's music to my ears and in my sights. I've got this hunting fever down in my bones. I'm glad my daddy taught me everything I know. From those white-tailed bucks to strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. From those white-tailed bucks to strutting toms, the bugling elks that are on the run. Where dreams are made, the trophies is our game. The TLC Outfitters is our name. The TLC Outfitter is our name.
Hey everybody, welcome to TLC Outfitters Live. My name is Trinity Shepherd. Thank you so much for making us part of your Wednesday evening. Hope everybody had a great weekend and has had a great start to the week. We are here officially on Hump Day, and we've got two great guests for you tonight. You have heard me talk about this man week in and week out. Not only Joe, but also our great mayor, Les Stapleton, and the city of Prestonsburg are the ones that roll out the red carpet for us here at the Mountain Arts Center. We consider this home of TLC Outfitters until Joe boots us out.
Well, you know, we only bring in the best in the building. So
you know what, Joe? I like you, man. You all right, man. But we're joined by Joe, and then a little bit later tonight we're going to be joined by our good friend Dr. Sean Tussey of the Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital. Man, we're excited about our show tonight. If you've not done so, please like and share this video. Get the word out there about all things TLC Outfitters, the leading choice, and Eastern Kentucky. Before we get into our guests, we got some announcement. Of course, this show is brought to you by Vortex Optics. Join the Vortex Nation. Check out. They've got some brand new gear, clothing line, some good stuff going on there at Vortex. Also, they're the home of the VIP, no questions asked, lifetime warranty. That means if you buy a rifle scope, a spotting scope, a rangefinder, binoculars, anything, lifetime warranty, man. And I'm telling you something, it is the best optic I've used, and I've used a bunch of them. Check it out, Vortex Optics. Join the Vortex Nation today. It's got some shout outs. Of course, as always, he's not here with us tonight. Of course, he's covering them Betsy Lane Bobcats. That's Mr. Thomas Rainey of Bobcat Sports Live. Behind the equipment tonight is Chris Smith with Mr. Tire. Let me tell you something, folks. Lee, why do I call you Smith? Chris Mead.
It's blind, you guys.
Mead.
It's blind, sorry.
I'm sorry. Blaine cursed me. Blaine cursed me. I even wrote it down, Smith.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
I did something. You was a brother.
I'm so sorry. Take two. Chris Mead from Mr. Tire of Prestonsburg. I'm telling you what, besides me getting his name wrong, you cannot go wrong by going to Mr. Tire of Prestonsburg. Whether you need tires, an oil change, brake job, if you need their multi-point inspection, anything you may need, they can check it out right there at Mr. Tire Prestonsburg. They are the official service center of TLC Outfitters, and one of these years I'll get his name right.
When you give Big Nathan, say Nathan.
Oh.
Get his autograph.
Yep. And do not forget greatness. You want to talk about the best. Nathan Arnott, man, from Turning Ground, and Chessie and Nathan Music.
Yeah,
Nathan Arnott right there at Mr. Tire, and also check out our good friends Delmer and Brandon.
I know Nathan and Chessie well.
Oh, man, great people.
Yeah, great people. Great.
They're the ones who do our intro.
Yeah.
I got to brag on them, man. They're awesome. Pete Runyon, Friends of Tug Fort, also our good buddies from the Friends of Leviza as well, and the Russell Fort. Aaron Scott from Copperhead Gun and Indoor Range. Hunter Maines from Burley Custom Call. Look what I got in the mail. I've been telling you about Burley Custom Calls. If you have not checked out Burley Custom Call, go over to Instagram. I've been talking to him about Facebook. He'll get there eventually. Go over to Instagram. I guess Facebook's for us old people now.
Yeah, that's our generation. And now,
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to 17, 18-year-olds to 25-year-olds, and they're like, they don't even have Facebook.
That's right, man.
They have
Instagram.
TikTok and Instagram and
TikTok. MySpace. Are you 60 years old?
I need to clean my MySpace up. I need to work on it.
Is it even a thing?
I don't think so.
I don't even think. Hey. Check out Hunter Maines from Burley Custom Calls. I got in my brand new locator call. That is Marblewood. If you check out our website, or on our website, our Facebook page after the show tonight, if you book a hunt, a turkey hunt with TLC Outfitters, you are going to get the Burley Custom Calls Ultimate Slam gift pack, which comes with a pot call, friction call, comes with 3 diaphragm calls. It comes with that locator call right there. That's an owl call. And, man, there's all kinds. I mean, Osage orange, Marblewood, cherry, all kinds of stuff. And it is phenomenal. That is what will be in our turkey vest this year. Burley Custom Calls, our good friend Hunter Maines. Man, we appreciate you very much. Also, our good buddy, originally from Florida, but now West Virginia, John Partain, man, hope you're doing good. And Derek and Sheila Click from DS Welding. Got a big birthday shout out tonight. Our very own and one of my best friends, our very own Corey Terry, man. Hope you had a great birthday this week, buddy. And also a huge, huge congratulations to our very own Sawyer Adams and Sarah Morgan on their engagement this week, man. We are so tickled to death, and we just want to say a huge congratulations to them. Maybe congratulations to him, and many sorrows to her. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I said many, many congratulations to Sawyer, but many woes to her.
But it is congratulations to him because he finally found somebody to take him.
Oh, I didn't say that, Chris. You mean, man. You mean. If he leaves us, you're a dead man. I'm just saying. Yeah. So congratulations and happy birthday. Like I said, our guests tonight are Joe Campbell, the director here at the Mountain Arts Center, and our good friend Dr. Sean Tussey from the Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you all so much. Got some shout outs here tonight. If I don't call your name, I apologize. I can just see what I can see. But we got Daryl and Jeremy. Thank you so much. Christy, thank you for tuning in. Stuart and Regina Adams says, hey, y'all. Nathan Arnott says, I'm tired of seeing pictures of Chris Meade.
I saw you.
Sabotage, Nathan. Me and you's right here, buddy. Our very own Corey Black. Sweet hat, Nathan. Thanks to you, brother, right here. Turning Ground. Check out Turning Ground Music on Spotify. And also check out Nathan and Chessie Arnott Music. Awesome. Amber, hope you're doing good. Jason Harlow, buddy. Good to see you on here. Robert Prater. Our number one fan, my mama. Miss Shirley, got to spend some time with her today. LaVonna, thank you for tuning in. George, man, thank you. Thurman. Tim, hope you took care.
Yeah, thermal.
All right, good deal. Dylan Lawson, brother, hope you're having a good one. I think you had a birthday or somebody did not too long ago. Let's see, who else we got? And like I said, if I'm skipping on it, Mike, buddy, hope you're doing good. And John Ramey says, still waiting on that hat. I don't have a new order in yet, brother, but we will get there. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Just a little bit of news. April 3rd and 4th, if you kept up with us yesterday, I done a little short video. April 3rd and 4th, we are proud to announce our Strutting Jakes Youth Turkey Tournament. Free of charge. Not going to be a cost to anybody at that turkey tournament. That's going to be held at Copperhead Gun and Indoor Range. You need to come out, bring your kids out. Of course, it's for youth 15 and under, and it's going to be a great weekend. You will actually check in that Friday the 2nd. Check-in will be from 4 to 7. Get signed up, and then start the hunt Saturday, finish on Sunday. On Saturday, we're going to be having a youth turkey calling contest with all kinds of prizes, and there's also going to be some music, fingers crossed, weather permitting, nothing comes up, with Nathan and Chessie Arnott. And then on the 4th, we will conclude and give away prizes. The way it's going to work, we're going to have a measuring system for all the turkeys checked in, and we're going to be giving away prizes for each position, each place. But we hope to send every child away with something that day. So that's our hope. Come out and join us April 2nd through the 4th for the Strutting Jakes Youth Turkey Tournament. Man, it's going to be awesome at Copperhead Gun and Indoor Range, sponsored by Vortex Optics and many, many others. We will have our sponsorship stuff coming up in the weeks to come. April 30th is the last day to apply for the Kentucky Elk Draw. Get your name in the hat. Do not wait till the 30th. It doesn't help you any. You superstitious people. Listen, if that's what makes you feel good, go right ahead. But when it crashes and you can't get in there, I don't want to hear you whining.
Right.
So get your name in the hat.
They come to you whining, don't they?
Yes, they come to all of us, man. I'll tell you, it's something. Get your name in the hat. $10 to apply for a firearm bull, $10 to apply for a firearm cow, $10 to apply for an either sex archery tag. And man, if you get drawn, it is the hunt of a lifetime. Check them out by April 30th, fw.ky.gov, and a lot of other good information on there, including the new fishing and boating book that's on there, and the spring hunting catalog is on there as well. Speaking of elk, I'm going to let you make this announcement, Joe. May 14th and 15th.
May 14th and 15th, right back here at the Mountain Arts Center, the Elk Draw Reveal. We will have. We had to go do virtual last year because that's right in the middle of everything going crazy. But our plans are to have it right here, live event with folks coming in and some extra surprises maybe on Friday night, May 14th. We're trying to work it this year a little different, have an opening night on that Friday night with some music and some other activities, and then the next day on Saturday, May 15th, having the draw as we've had here this will be the fourth year. So looking forward to that, and stay tuned for big announcements.
Man, I can't think of a better place to have it than right here in Prestonsburg, Kentucky. Kind of a central location, but right here at the Mountain Arts Center, man, it is an awesome atmosphere, and hopefully this year we get to get things back to normal. But now, you know, I was here last year when I seen my uncle. Of course, everybody in there knew once I seen my uncle's name because I hooped and hollered a little bit in there. But we were able, and Chris got to be part of his hunt, and Dylan got to be part of his hunt, and some others. My mom got to go, but my uncle harvested a nice bull, and then very good friends of ours, like family to us from Richmond, their little girl got drawn for a cow tag and got to be part of her hunt, and she got her cow, man. So
wow.
it was a good year for us, and 594 other people are going to see their name right here in the Mountain Arts Center, May 14th and 15th. Now, different this year, the May 15th, that's on a Saturday, that's going to be the Elk Draw Reveal.
Right.
On May 14th, fingers crossed, when we're back to living, it's going to be hopefully some fun stuff here, maybe with a concert and other things. So put that on your calendar. Elk Draw Reveal, Prestonsburg, Kentucky, Mountain Arts Center, May 14th and 15th. So a lot of good stuff. Listen, folks, we're getting ready to take a commercial break. We're going to come back here in just a few moments, talk to our good friend Joe Campbell, and then we're going to get to Mr. Dr. Sean Tussey from the Beaver Creek Veterinarian Hospital. So excited about tonight's show. If you've not done so, please like and share this feed. Get the word out there about all things TLC Outfitters and Eastern Kentucky. We'll be back here in just a few moments.
Aaron, what are you doing back here?
Dry fire.
What do you mean you're dry firing? We got a brand new range back there.
I can't put it on, man.
Oh, yes, you can. The new Stimmy just came in. You really gonna shoot it all without me?
Well, come on.
I think I got a better idea.
Hey folks, welcome back here to TLC Outfitters Live. Thank you so much for joining us. We're joined here today by our good friend Joe Campbell, the director. You have heard at the beginning of every show about Joe Campbell, and finally we got him here tonight. Joe, thanks for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the schedule finally worked out. I could come down.
Thank you for having us, brother, and opening up the doors. We appreciate it.
That's what we're here for.
We love this place. Love this place. Before we dive into the Mountain Art Center and yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I grew up right here in Prestonsburg, right here in eastern Kentucky. Born and raised here. I went to Big Sandy Community Technical College. Of course, I'm going to show my age. It was Prestonsburg Community College.
PCC, that's
PCC. Right. Folks at the college aren't going to like me saying that. But then I went to University of Kentucky, got my journalism and telecommunications degree, came back here, worked around a few places, worked at the college. And then I came back here in 2016. I started working here in high school, running Spotlight up in the booth for about 6 years. I was on the tech crew. And then I came back in 2016 as programming and marketing director. And 2019 was named executive director.
Man, what a career, dude. That's awesome to go from Spotlight to executive director.
Yeah, every now and then I think about that. I'm like, man, I was down on the low down there, and then somehow I was lucky enough to work my way up.
It takes all cogs in a machine to make it work.
It does, especially in this building, especially in this industry, this entertainment industry. So
absolutely.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your life in the outdoors, things like you like and everything. You know, that's one thing. Like that's what I try to tell everybody. We're not just about hunting and fishing or whatever else, catching and killing. I mean, we enjoy all things outdoors.
Well, I haven't got to hike much in the last couple of years, but I used to be a backpacker. I've done the Appalachian Trail and used to spend a lot of time on the Pine Mountain Trail. I was actually on the board over there for a while of building the trail and doing some mapping. But I've backpacked and spent many nights on the Pine Mountain Trail. Few sleepless nights, but that's what it's all about. That's
all about.
Fun. Like I said, Appalachian Trail. Many trails across North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, a lot of backpacking. Of course, I've hiked all the trails at Jenny Wiley State Park thousands and thousands of times. Any chance I get an hour or so, I run over there and do some hiking. Done a lot of kayaking on the Leviza Fork, on Johns Creek, and then all over Tennessee, South Carolina. Not got to kayak much in the last couple of years either, but getting ready to get my daughter into it. She's 8, so we're looking at some kayaking with her. And I've biked the Passage Trail here lately, so a lot of that, a lot of hiking and kayaking.
You know, I've done a lot of hiking, backpacking myself. Like done a lot of hiking on the Appalachian and everything. But now to me, there's no place like Eastern Kentucky.
No.
There's so many good trails and
There's
good
not.
hiking and scenery right here.
Absolutely, Eastern Kentucky is the best. There's something about it, something about the feel of it. I mean, Pine Mountain Trail, Jenny Wiley, Red River Gorge. Those are probably my three I've done the most, and you can't beat it.
That's
So,
exactly right. Now, Joe, give us a little bit of history. You know, we talk about this place. This place, to me, is a staple here in Eastern Kentucky. You can't really talk about Eastern Kentucky without thinking about the MAG. Billie Jean Osborne and some of the early on pioneers of this place really had a big vision, and we've seen that kind of come true. Tell us a little bit about the history about the MAG.
Well, it opened in October of 1996, so we're approaching the 25th anniversary. But Miss Billie Jean Osborne had that vision in the early 90s, and she walked in on a couple of musicians that she knew, and she said, "I want a show like Branson and Myrtle Beach. We can do it." And they said, "Okay, well, what do you need to do?" So she put the Kentucky Opry together. As you can see, some of the memorabilia. She put the Kentucky Opry together for tour buses and tourists coming into Eastern Kentucky. And they got so popular so quick that she said, "We need a home for the Kentucky Opry." Instead of playing, at Jenny Wiley Amphitheater, at Prestonsburg High School, flatbed trucks they played. So she started the fundraising campaign for the Mountain Arts Center. She went all the way top. She was knocking on Hal Rogers' office door once a week, and Governor Patton and all that. So she's tough, and we would not be sitting here today without her. But 1996 it opened, and we're home to the Kentucky Opry, but also to all the headlining acts that come through. Country, rock and roll, bluegrass, gospel. We've done it all here as far as concerts and events. Great events like the Elk Draw, and we host weddings and showers, and we can do a lot here at the Mountain Arts Center.
Many different art exhibits. When you say Mountain Arts Center, it's truly about the arts of these old mountains, and we see from time to time we'll see different sculptures and paintings and different type of art, canvas art. Over here we've got a couple museum exhibits over here. Tell us a little bit about what's over here.
Right when you come in the door, you see the Rainier Racing exhibit. The Rainier family was from right here in Floyd County. Had a lot of success in NASCAR in the 80s.
And if for those of y'all that don't know about Rainier Racing, we're talking about Bobby Allison, Davey Allison. Once upon a time was the 28 and 88 car. Ernie Irvin, Dale, all of them.
They had the biggies driving for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Tony Stewart drove for them when he was a young driver in the ARCA and things like that in the lower levels. The Gray Ghost, I think they owned that car in the 80s. Fastest lap ever at Talladega, maybe, I think.
Super Speedway's record,
Yeah, we had that car here for a while, and it went back to a museum in California. But anyways, Rainier Racing exhibit. On the other side of our lobby, we have the Cedar Coal exhibit. They rotate quarterly for different themes of growing up in coal camps and coal houses and the historical and the cultural values of the coal camps from the 30s on up. And then right through, you go through there and we go to our recording studio. We have a full-fledged recording studio that you'll see in Nashville, New York City, or anywhere. We've had a lot of cool albums cut here at the recording studio. We can also do a live album from stage. Usually if somebody wants to cut a live album, they have to rent a big mobile truck and rent all this sound equipment, and that's extra cost.
Right.
We have it right here. We have any performance on stage, we can set it up to record in the studio.
That is awesome. And what folks don't know is if they need these services, like the recording services, they can actually contact you all here at the MAC.
Absolutely.
And they can actually rent that and use that equipment.
Absolutely. One rental fee includes the recording engineer, our house engineer. If you need a band, we've got a house band that can jump in, for extra amount of dollars and different projects that you can think, whatever, depends on the project. So, all these rental rooms we have for weddings and showers and birthday parties, conventions and meetings, and I mean, in a normal year, non-pandemic world, we stay busy during the week with these rooms, with trainings and meetings and things. And so, we stay busy. We have an unbelievable staff, a diverse staff.
And
So-
that auditorium, that stage, the whole shebang in there is a great setting.
We are blessed with an unbelievably sounding room. The way they designed back to a little bit of history of the building, these block walls, these stone walls, were picked because of the acoustic value. So when you go into the theater, it's dead. Now a lot of people think you don't want it to be dead, but that gives the recording engineer space to work their magic, to make it sound good.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
walk in there,
Yeah.
especially when they close those doors up, but before they do, you can feel that
Yeah.
emptiness
Right,
in
right.
that room.
Right, and we have one of the biggest stages of a performing arts center of this type. I say big, but it's deep and wide. Normally, it's you go up with a big fly space and a shorter stage. But Miss Billy wanted, this was her quote. I've heard it many times. She wanted it big. She wanted it deep and wide for all her babies to fit on stage. And her babies meaning all those students that she had through the years.
Yeah.
In choir and band and everything. So
Her vision, the many visions of others, homegrown people like yourself and Dr. Tussey coming on later tonight. Things. That is what makes Eastern Kentucky what it is. That's what
Absolutely.
we try to sell week in and week out.
Yep.
Without visionaries, without people who don't have "I quit" in their vocabulary, like Miss Billie Jean,
right.
we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have these places. We wouldn't have this talent showcase. And that's what I want people to understand about. And anywhere you go across the country, there's a lot of special things about every place. But I have to tell you, it hits a little bit different here in Eastern Kentucky.
It is. It's a vibe. It's a feeling. I just think it's diverse too. Diverse people make Eastern Kentucky what it is. From hunting, fishing, hiking, biking, to music, to art, to graphic arts. It's Eastern Kentucky has it.
That's right. And a bunch of God-fearing people too. I
That's
think the
right.
man upstairs has got a lot to do with it too.
Absolutely.
So-
Totally agree.
That's right, man. What events do y'all have coming up? Everybody's chomping at the bit to get back to normal. Dewey's open back up tonight.
I saw that.
So hopefully we can get some music flowing through the lodge now and everything. Of course, that'll be a slow process, and people can check out the state parks Facebook page and website to get all that. But tell us a little bit about the big events coming up here.
Well, I tell you what, we have the first ever Appalachian Arts and Entertainment Awards program, and we announced it last year, way before COVID, and it was supposed to be a big, nice event here at the Mountain Arts Center, and recognizing all the talent in Eastern Kentucky and everything from songwriters to tattoo artists to news personalities. So March 20th at 7 p.m. we're doing a live stream. We had to do a little bit different, so go to cmh23.com, cmh23.com, and buy your virtual ticket for we're calling it the Appies, the Appie Awards.
The Happy World.
So $18 including fees. See what all the Appalachia and Eastern Kentucky has to offer in all this talent. So buy your ticket. You will not be disappointed. March 20th at 7 p.m. live stream. So that's the big focus we've been on the last 3 weeks. But the next weekend, March 27th, the Kentucky Opry Junior Pros. I mentioned the Kentucky Opry, but the Junior Pros are the feeder system. The kids from we have age 7 to 18, and these kids are phenomenal.
That's our junior varsity of the music world.
That's the junior varsity of the music world in Eastern Kentucky. They're putting on a tribute to rock all through the decades on March 27th. I mean, they've been rehearsing. Fantastic kids, just so much talent.
I'll tell you what, they may be junior varsity by age, but their talent is out of this world.
Absolutely, yeah. We love our junior pros. Just great kids, great program that Miss Billie Jean started because she said we got to keep education in the music business, and she said, well, and by the way, we'll just train them to move up to Kentucky Opry.
There we go.
And so 28 years later, the Kentucky Opry's 31 years old. junior pros are 27, 28 years old.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
What else we got coming up?
April 2nd, we have, it's called the Dark Side of the Moon. It's Dark Side of the River, a local band called Down to the River. They're going to put on a concert, the whole Dark Side of the Moon album in person, note for note, the legendary Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon. We're going to have all the sound effects, lighting effects of all the Pink Floyd. They're going to play the whole album front to back. Just a great night of rock and roll, classic rock. A band called Down to the River. Right
I think that's Chris's age bracket.
I think it is. I think it
just
is.
saying.
He's already bought his ticket.
Yeah, that's what it is.
He's not said anything. But
Finishes out in April. What else we got?
April 9th, we have Exile returning.
Oh
We
man,
have
the legendary
Exile.
Exile.
We try to have them every other year because they just love coming here. They love Eastern Kentucky. Have Eastern Kentucky ties. But that's one of those shows we've had to move 3 times.
And they sound just as good now as they did when they come out decades ago.
They do. I mean, they amaze me. They'll start a sound check in here, and it's just like, man,
Yep.
they're getting younger. I mean, they're sounding
The
younger.
fountain of youth.
That's April 9th. April 24th, spring gospel concert with Karen Peck and New River. And then the next weekend, we have the Kinfolk reunion. No, it's not here, but it's going to be at Archer Park.
Yep.
The return of Sunday Best. They're getting back together. This is their first shows in 3.5 years, maybe.
Now it's almost sold out, right?
Actually, the first 2 nights, it's 3 nights. The first 2 nights are sold out. The third night on Sunday night, May 2nd, is very limited tickets left. So all these shows I mentioned, you can call us at 888-MAC-ARTS, macarts.com. So hopefully we have a diverse lineup. That's what we try to do.
Right.
We've got classic rock, we've got some country rock, and pop with Exile, and then we got the gospel. We got some Sunday Best, and so that's what we got the next
Americana.
6 weeks. Americana, but we're getting there. Governor just lifted some restrictions, so we're able to put a little bit more people in here, sell some more tickets now.
We're
and,
excited,
We're
man.
getting closer to getting back to normal, hopefully.
What have we missed? Oh, and then don't forget the big elk draw reveal May 14th. Well, May 14th and 15th. The elk draw reveal will be the 15th, but hopefully, we'll be able to have some music and some good stuff on the night before, which is a Friday night, the 14th.
Friday, May 14th. That's what when the mayor and I got together to submit for this elk draw again, to have it here. We said, what can we do different? Let's try to get a little different atmosphere going. So we did. Let's add a Friday night, the 14th, like an opening weekend type, the opening of the weekend with some concert, maybe some activities. So be on the lookout for that. More information coming soon. I've got a few bands lined up that I'm working on for that Friday night, and local music, local Eastern Kentucky music. But hopefully announce more of that soon.
Awesome, man. Anything else?
That's the biggies. Buy your Appy's tickets, live stream.
Appy, that will be March the 20th at 7 p.m. Appy Awards on CMH23.
CMH23.com. That's one of our partners. It's one of our production partners.
Country Music Highway 23. That's what that stands for.
Yeah.
.com. The Appy Awards. Now, this is like all across the Appalachian. This is 13 states.
It is. Now, we included all 13 states in the Appalachian region. We end up getting submissions. The public submitted who they thought would be up for best guitarist and best band and all that. 6 different states represented out of those 13. So we had applicants and submissions from 6 different Appalachian states, and so then people voted on the top 5. So we revealed the top 5 of each category about a month ago, and then we sent those top 5 contestants off to our panel. We've got an industry panel in Nashville, Los Angeles, Lexington. We've got some insiders in the music and entertainment industry that hopped on board to help us with this and pick these winners of these talented folks.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome news for Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, and stay tuned for announcements about the Kentucky Opry. Be back this summer. We had to take some time off this past year, but
Yep. How can people find out more about the Mountain Arts Center?
Go to macarts.com. We got a new website. We're still working on some things with it. All the schedules on there and some history of the MAC and things like that, or stop by and see us. Stop by and we can give you a tour. We can show you up close and personal of what we have here and all kinds of different things we do here. So
Facebook page,
Instagram page, the Mountain Arts Center, both of those, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel. We put some single mic sessions is what we call it, just like single mic tonight. Over in the recording studio, we do the single mic sessions. We set up one mic and we have some artists come in, some bands, and it makes them get creative. If it's a 3-piece, they got to get creative with how it works out with that single microphone, and it makes my recording engineer work hard too, be creative how he places it and everything.
Yeah.
So we've got some of those on our YouTube channel. Those are really taking off and picking up with popularity. We started that during COVID because we needed something. My team's creative. We can't just sit around and do anything and just sit there. So we come up with the single mic sessions to help artists come in and record and have content coming from the Mountain Arts Center.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, Joe, listen, man, thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thank you for all things that you do for us and TLC Outfitters, opening up this great facility. We appreciate you, appreciate Mayor Stapleton and the city of Prestonsburg. We call home. And, man, I hope to have you on here again with a whole other list of events.
Yeah. Well, I've got more things that's coming. We're working on it.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to get back to normal. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in. If you've not done so, please like and share this video feed. Get the word out there about all things Eastern Kentucky and TLC Outfitters. We're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to be coming back here with our good friend Dr. Sean Tussey from the Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital. We're going to be talking about some good stuff. You are watching TLC Outfitters Live.
In 1981, Havells began supplying the medical industry with world-class surgical blades. In 2005, a new division, Havalon, created the first surgically inspired replaceable blade knife. The rest is history. First of its kind, preferred by professional guides, leader in quality and innovation. Never lose your edge.
Welcome to Copperhead Guns and Range. I'm Aaron. We're open Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 and Saturday 9 to 5. We offer Yeti products, range ammo, defensive ammo, magazines, optics. We have Cobra-Tech knives, lifetime warranty D2 steel, shotguns, black rifle coffee. Here at Copperhead Gun and Range, we have a state-of-the-art 6-lane gun range. You can come here. $12 for a half an hour, $21 for a full hour. If you bring somebody with you, it's $8 additional for that person. You can shoot anything up to a .308 inside the range, and you can even rent this bad boy right here. Come see us.
It is absolutely incredible how crazy the world is right now. There's so many people out there that think they got the answers for exactly what the world needs. I mean, I've got my opinion too. I think the world needs a hunter. It needs you. Hunting is under attack. There's no guarantee. We have this lifestyle that we love and that we live for our future generations. That goes for me, you, my kids, your kids, our grandkids. But look, it is up to us to ensure that it is around for the future.
Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand.
The Harvest Film is the answer. Look, this film is going to educate millions as they experience the true joys and value of this outdoor lifestyle, our lifestyle. And the film is going to be produced by the same people that produced I Can Only Imagine, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
But the executive producer on this one is you.
The Ohio Archer. Colorado Angler.
The Montana Elk Hunters.
The Wyoming Antelope Hunter.
We're going to join arm in arm together as an industry to produce this film.
And let me tell you, the voice of the hunter, the strength of the hunter, the assets of the hunter are going to be heard loud and clear as you join with us to produce this film. We need you, so come join me.
Join me.
Join us. Please join all of us.
Join this industry.
Invite your friends, family, and hunting buddies and be part of the harvest.
Let that revival begin.
I am Taylor Drury. I'm Tiffany Lukoski.
Jeff Danker. I'm Toxie Hayes.
I'm Michael Waddell, and we are the harvest.
Hey everybody, welcome back here to TLC Outfitters Live. We just finished up with our good friend Joe Campbell, the Executive Director of the Mountain Arts Center. Thank you, Joe, for everything you do for us, man. We appreciate you very much. Now we are joined by another fella I've been trying to get on the show. And I tell you what, man, listen, these busy schedules got to calm down, brother. You know, just because you're out there saving our fur babies and all that stuff, I mean, you got to camera down a little bit.
Heard that, yeah. Wish it was that easy.
Yeah. Our good friend, Dr. Sean Tussey, from Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital, actually owner of Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital. Sean, thanks so much, man, for taking time away from your busy schedule. I mean, this guy shoots me a message, said, man, I'm going to be cutting it close. I'm in surgery. What was I supposed to say? No, you need to leave that there, and, you know.
Yeah.
But, no, we appreciate you coming out here to be with us, man.
I'm glad
Thank
to do
you.
it, man. It's an honor.
A lot of stuff to cover that I want to go over with tonight. But before we do that, one thing I forgot to say, I'm sorry.
Sure, no.
I got excited there for me. Check out the Harvest film, folks. We just played that commercial. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be awesome. We are proud to be partnered up with the Harvest film, and to be part of that, it is a door and a blessing that's been gave to us, and we are very thankful for that. Be sure to go over and check out the Harvest film. You can check it out on our website, check it out on Facebook, and I'm telling you right now, it is awesome. Some hard-working, dedicated people protecting this lifestyle, this way of life that we love, we enjoy, and we have been blessed by. People have fought and died for, and conservation itself. Please go over and check out the Harvest film, see what it's all about, and we are proud to be partnering with everybody in that. Thank you all very much. Now, let's talk a little bit about you. We got to lay the foundation here, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Born and raised in Hughesville, head of a holler in a single wide trailer. Just graduated from Allen Central in '96, and my family's been here for eons, except for the few that went to Indiana and Ohio to make money when there was none to be made here. Graduated from Allen Central in '96, went to Prestonsburg Community College, as Joe was talking about there a while ago.
Now known as Big Sandy.
Now known as Big Sandy. Met what would be my future wife there of will soon be 22 years, and graduated from University of Kentucky in 2001 with a bachelor's in food science, and then went on to Auburn University in Alabama and graduated with my doctorate in veterinary medicine in 2005. Come back and joined Dr. Combs, Carol Combs, at what was the old Beaver Creek Animal Clinic in Estill, which is now known as Wayland by zip code. And then bought her goodwill in that practice in 2012 and moved it to the mouth of Turkey Creek in Langley in the building we are in now. So
some of us know as Maytown.
Maytown. Maytown.
Across from Maytown.
Across from Maytown. The other side of the road.
That's right, man.
Across from the fruit stand.
Across from the fruit stand, brother. Man, and I tell you what, man, to go from, a little town of Hughesville.
Yeah.
All the way through to what it takes to be a doctor in veterinary medicine. That's amazing. Tell us a little bit about your ties to the outdoors and what you enjoy.
As a kid, I climbed the hills endlessly, man. We lived up in actually close to the McGoffin County line, and me and my best friend Corey, we were running the hills all the time. We were up. There was Fox Cabin on top of the hill that his grandpa had, and Clyde Works for anybody who was to know him back in the day. And we were up there. Just loved it. Now I've resolved to sit on the porch and drink coffee and enjoy the wildlife from the front yard that eats out of my bird feeders. They don't get a lot of time to hunt and fish. Never been an avid hunter. I do enjoy fishing, and I do enjoy hiking to some degree. My wife likes it so much better than I do, but my children detest the outdoors.
Yeah.
So we don't.
They're not right here
All the time. All the time.
That's the world we live in.
That it
brother.
is, man. 365.
Can you imagine a time? Can you remember a time that these things, all this wasn't in play? Could you imagine running your business without it?
Not now. If I could detach myself from my phone and just run the business without it, I would. But you can't.
No,
it's impossible.
No possible way. And you wouldn't have these guys wanting you to come on these shows all the time.
Well, it's true. There's doorways that get open because of this. So,
I hope so, brother. Now, I want to talk. We want to finish on the wildlife side of things, but before we get there, I want to talk about Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital because people, I think sometimes they get rooted in kind of tradition and whatever. Yeah. I know a lot of folks, and God love his heart, we miss him dearly, Mr. Rudolph Ousley. Dr. Rudolph Ousley.
He's a good guy.
Left us, unfortunately, and we miss him very much. But, man, Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital is right there. I want you to tell the folks about it and tell them about the good works and the services that y'all do.
Yeah, be glad to. We're, first of all, my staff is second to none. We've got something between my top 3 techs. We've got over 31 years experience from the entire team. We're getting up to close to 35 to 38 years experience, and second to none. We've got state-of-the-art surgery facilities, anesthetic monitoring. We also, of course, do x-rays, ultrasonography, which several places don't do. We do thermal imaging, laser therapy. Class 4 infrared laser therapy is pretty awesome. We, of course, do full internal medicine and well patient care, of course, and carry all the important products that people need in the way of flea, tick, and heartworm. We board as much as we have room. We've actually looking at expanding because things have just kind of exploded in the last couple of years, and we're looking to kind of increase size on things, but we do board, and we pretty much cover everything that everybody needs. The surgical procedures that we don't do, we're hooked up with some people that do, and actually we'll send them even to West Liberty. We were talking about Dr. Ralph Adams a while ago. And Ralph will do a couple of orthopedic surgeries that we don't do, and we send some down there. Of course, we've been working with Raptors. Well, Dr. Combs was working for them before I came along, but I've been working with Raptors ever since 2005. We work with Raptor Rehab out of Louisville. That's what we've traditionally been working with. And then we'll do waterfowl, and then we'll do any of the mammals that are brought in as a general rule. So.
And Raptors, for those maybe somebody that don't know, I think everybody on here may know, but Raptors, we're talking about birds of prey such as hawks, vultures, owls, even down to an eagle. Thankfully, we don't get too many of those coming in. So even though there's more now than we've ever seen before, but that's great, man. From what I know, what I see, just what little bit in veterinary medicine and in with wildlife, world-class facility, man. World-class facility.
We try.
And what I like is when you come down there, you're treated like family, and your pet is put first.
Yeah.
Man, our pets.
Well, they're more family than they've ever been.
That's right.
And it's the dynamic is changing. Of course, we always kind of say tongue-in-cheek, we're about 5 years behind in Eastern Kentucky, and there's truth to that in a lot of the fads and trends that go on. But same thing for the pet world. What people have been experiencing from the veterinarian side in Lexington, Louisville for the last 5 or 10 years, we're now starting to sit here, and pets have become much bigger parts of the family. When we grew up, nothing was spayed or neutered. We fed them in a galvanized pan under the back porch, and we fed them on Roy dog food and whatever scraps came off the table. And
if they were lucky, they got a shot of penicillin every once in a while.
When they got copperhead.
Probably left over from the horses and the pigs and the cattle.
Yeah, that was it. There was nothing. And so to be to this level doing what we are now for not just people's pets, but their family members, it's pretty awesome.
It is awesome, man. And I have to tell this story.
Please.
Yeah. I'll tell you, and people out there cringe when I talk about this. So, a lot of folks don't know I share an office with 5 snakes. 5 snakes and 3 turtles, to be exact. And they're like, you got to be crazy. We use these animals for educational purposes, and kids love them. Kids kids are just, they want to know about me. It's an opportunity to teach kids, have a moment to teach kids. But anyway, one of our beloved snakes, possibly the oldest living corn snake alive, fell ill, and I was able to take that snake to Sean and his staff, and I mean within the hour had a diagnosis, had the X-ray, the diagnosis, and had an appointment to take this snake to the folks because of the advancement of this, what's going on.
Yeah.
To be able to take this to another world-class facility.
Yeah, in Knoxville.
That is the type of care that your pet, that your fur baby, that your four-legged family member is going to get, or if it doesn't have legs in this case, is going to be able to get, and that, man, means a lot. We buy these animals and we put all this money into whatever. It is worth it to take care of them in the best way, and veterinary medicine is the way to do that.
Yeah, it is, and I tell people all the time, we do, of course, more dogs than anything because it's just the world we live in. But you get them vaccinated, you get them fixed, you feed them a good food, you dogs, Casey, keep them on heartworm prevention, and you take care of their teeth and oral life, and you're doing everything you can do to keep these guys alive and around and healthy. And it's not hard. You stay ahead of the game. You'll head off a lot of the problems at the past, and you can keep these guys around. I mean, I seen my oldest cat last week, who is 25. And we routinely now have dogs that bust 18, 19-year-old, even a few 20-year-olds.
No.
And the oldest horse / donkey / pony that we worked on, Equid, if you will, was over 40.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we had, and still had plenty spunk. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. And our good friend Beth Hahn from Mountain View Wildlife Rehabilitation Facility said, wonderful doctors for my rehab facility. And I couldn't say it better than that.
I shout out for my associate, Dr. Newsom, too. She's from Oxford.
Yeah.
Homegrown girl. Great doctor.
Awesome, man.
Great doctor.
Now, we're going to take another commercial break, but I want to come back here and I want to talk a little bit about wildlife. We got a busy season coming up.
Yes.
And boy, if we can say something here tonight that maybe save you some headache, but more importantly,
the animals,
save the resource.
That's right.
Hopefully we can do that. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back here in just a few moments. We're talking with our good friend, Dr. Sean Tussey from the Beaver Creek Veterinarian Hospital. You're watching TLC Outfitters Live. Tinsley Custom Wildlife, formerly Central Kentucky Taxidermy, is located in Anderson County, Kentucky, in the heart of the bluegrass, and is surrounded by some of the best hunting opportunities in the southeastern United States. Wildlife is abundant in Kentucky, and there's a great diversity of game to hunt. Elk, white-tailed deer, black bear, predators, waterfowl, as well as many others. The variety of local species in Kentucky provides owner Justin Tinsley with a great opportunity to excel in the art of taxidermy. Also an avid hunter, Justin understands the sportsman's expectations with taxidermy as he prides himself in providing this to each and every customer. Tinsley Custom Wildlife is the only USDA fully certified taxidermy facility in the state of Kentucky. Once your hunt of a lifetime is complete, allow Tinsley Custom Wildlife's award-winning taxidermy to make your trophy into a masterpiece. Give us a call today at 502-680-1022, or you can check us out on the web at centralkytaxidermy.com and at Facebook at Tinsley Custom Wildlife. A-team up here. Don't look at me that way. I know we're live. You want me to tell them what you said while we were off air? I'll do it. Hey, folks, we're back here with TLC Outfitters Live. Thank you so much for having a good time here with our good friend Dr. Sean Tussey from the Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital. Let me tell you something. Mouth of Turkey Creek.
Yes, sir.
If you've not been to Eastern Kentucky and to Turkey Creek, you're missing out. And I hope Jody and Jody and Mr. Terry are watching, because they live up Turkey Creek.
There we go.
And that's Mr. Corey Terry's mom and dad.
Oh, yeah.
You know them.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've not been to Turkey Creek, you're missing out. But straight across from Langley, some of us know as Maytown, just off of Route 80. Yeah. That's the major road between Prestonsburg and Hazard. Easy to find. I mean, we've all got maps, man.
Sure.
It's right there. It's within an eye shot. Please check out Beaver Creek Veterinarian Hospital. It is great. Our very own Erin Bingham said that she just brought her fur baby there last week to see you as well.
Yep.
Now, we've talked about the services that y'all provide. Let's talk a little bit about wildlife, and hopefully something we say here tonight will help. Now, we had Miss Beth on last year and talk about the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center there in Mountain View. Man, it is great to have services for when we find injured wildlife. You know, I get calls at the park every year, being the naturalist. I get to be a middle guy between either yourself or Beth or, like Francis Carter down at the Liberty Nature Center with raptors, and I love that part of my career. But so many times we find that a lot of these issues, a lot of problems, even sometimes leading to the death of these animals, this resource, can be avoided with a little bit of education.
Yeah.
What would you have to say to folks about when it comes to injured or abandoned wildlife?
I think we got to start with deer, just being where we are.
Coming up on fawning season.
Yeah, don't leave it. If it doesn't have blood, if it doesn't have an injury, leave it. These does will go, depending on who you talk to, as high as 16 hours or more, and feed and leave these fawns behind in the grass or under a tree or wherever they've left them. And sometimes it is blatantly right in the middle of a field or close to the edge of a road, because that's just where mom thinks that she should leave them. But they're there for a purpose. And if they're not injured, leave them alone, because once you move them and handle them and try to get them back and get mom to come back and receive them again is really difficult. And keeping these guys alive and nursing them, bottle feeding them, it's not as simple as people think it is.
No.
And that alone carries a fatality rate. We cannot raise them as good as mom can. And so you lose some of these healthy fawns that would otherwise populate and keep the numbers up.
Yeah.
We lose them because we lose a lot. I mean, we see some every year. I know you see more than we do. And any of the rehab guys that we work with, I know they see more than we do too, but there's still some that we always get those phone calls. We always get somebody on the doorstep with a fawn that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
They also do it with bunnies, with rabbits, baby rabbits, and I like to call them bunnies, I guess, when they're that small. That's not. But anyway, but they do that with the rabbits as well. And most of the time, you just need to leave them where you find them, and even baby birds. Sometimes they'll find a baby bird close. Maybe if you found the nest, stick it back up in there, but don't take it with you.
Oh,
Trying to raise a bird is
that's a death sentence. For the bird.
it is.
You
It
know.
is, and and rabbits too.
Yeah.
They are. You can get a rabbit to nurse them about 2 or 3 weeks. They will crash and burn, despite everything that you do.
That's exactly right. You know, the thing that I find out is that most of the time people will find these fawns, and that's the thing that I want to
Yeah.
focus on most, because
So that's what we see most.
that's what we see most. In our area, we are in a Zone 4 county when it comes to deer regulations, when it comes to whitetail regulations for hunting. So over, about 5 years ago, 4 years ago, we seen a huge spike in EHD, which is epizootic hemorrhagic disease. Some people call it blue tongue,
Yeah.
but it's a epizootic hemorrhagic disease. I think at that time there was estimated around 6,000, deer that were reported, and then you have a certain percentage of that of course people don't find. But despite the numbers, it was a huge loss.
It was.
So
Massive.
now in eastern Kentucky, it is more important than ever for us to protect these resources. And if that is during fawning season, we need to educate ourselves, if we come
Yeah.
across these fawns.
Yeah, and it's a common mistake, and I think it's hard for a lot of people to wrap your mind around that particular concept, because, if we find a kitten beside the road, or we find a pup beside the road, you take it home.
Yeah.
Because you don't, but the deers are not that way. That's not
right.
the way they're programmed. And those fawns, unless that they are visibly damaged, we'll leave them be.
That's exactly right. When you take a fawn, and just from my new knowledge,
Sure.
when you take a fawn down, that fawn has to be monitored 24/7.
Yeah.
And from feeding, evacuation of it, using the restroom,
Everything.
all of that, man, and then on top of that, so many diseases can be transferred, and it is. But now Beth, with Mountain
does a
View,
good job.
she does a fantastic job,
does.
and I know she works very closely with you.
Yeah.
But her hope, my hope, your hope,
Yeah.
is that it never, don't take advantage. If you see a fawn, don't think that that's an automatic trip to one of these places.
It's not, and it's a big misconception. As a matter of fact, we lose a lot of the limited resources and manpower we have to take care of otherwise healthy fawns when they don't need it.
That's right.
If you leave them out there, and there's some of these guys that we get truly injured, broken legs or skin wounds or whatever, that can relatively easily be nursed back to health. But when you're focusing on 5 healthy fawns that you have to take care of, then you lose focus on the other one that we could salvage.
That's right. Once you take that fawn out of the field,
Going back is not a possibility.
going back is not a possibility.
Yeah.
And it is illegal. This is something that I want
yeah.
people to know. It is illegal to keep these fawns.
Yes.
You,
Yes, it is.
fine. You can be fined and all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah.
So you never keep a fawn.
And that goes for all wildlife, really. And even a couple of years ago, that had rabies had made it close to the Kentucky border from the Virginia side, and they actually stopped permitting, at least for that year, any wildlife that people could have. They didn't want anybody to have anything because of the risk of rabies. It's not as simple as people think it is.
No.
And they're not going to be a cat that sits in your lap or a dog that licks your face when you come home.
That's right.
They don't get to that level. Oh, you occasionally find somebody with a coon who knows some tricks or something, but it's not the same thing. And you cannot take a wild animal and domesticate it in one generation. It just does not happen. And a lot of people get them, they keep them for a few months, and then all of a sudden you've got a full-grown something on your hands that you can no longer handle. And then it winds up with a rehab or sanctuary, but they can't get it back into the wild because it has no life skills.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's a downward spiral that can be avoided.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Absolutely.
And that's that's like the rehab facilities. The purpose of those rehab facilities is to not make a pet out of that deer.
Exactly.
That is to rehab that
Right.
animal back to the wild.
That's right. Educate and rehab.
Yep, that's right. And talking about these other species, so we're talking about, especially now in today's world, rabies vector species, which would be skunks, raccoons, foxes, bats. These are and you can't even possess one with a permit. Now,
no.
you can go to fw.ky.gov, and there's special permitting for certain species of wildlife for certain purposes. Like, for instance, at the park, we have a groundhog for education purposes, but one of these other species are off limit. But even with a groundhog or any of these wildlife, you are not legal to possess them.
That's correct. It's a big misconception too. I think a lot of people just, it's wild. It's in the wild, so therefore you can have it. But it's not. And and people say, well, they shouldn't do that. Well, there's reasons. The health of the animal, vector diseases in general, not just rabies, but other things that we can contract from them. And then you get a full-grown raccoon, fox, coyote, which is and you've got problems.
Yeah.
They don't usually domesticate well, and then somebody gets bit, and it's all downhill from there.
Let's talk about raptors a little bit.
Sure.
There's a lot of times that I'll get called out, and a barred owl's been hit or addled by a car, or a hawk has flew into a window. I mean, numerous ones, and I've worked with Mitch Whitaker from Letcher County, UK Extension Office. He's a raptor, a licensed raptor rehab guy. And then Francis Carter from the Liberty Nature Center, and you've got some folks as well. But let's talk about that. What advice would you have to folks who think that they maybe have ran across an injured raptor, that being a hawk, a vulture, owl, or some type of bird of prey?
Well, probably would start with the fact that you just simply can't possess those animals. It's a federal offense.
To even have a feather.
Yes, sir. And even for me, I'm under legal obligation to notify authorities that I have one within 24 hours of it crossing my threshold at the hospital. And so, we're just not, and we're administering medical care to these guys, but we've got to notify certain people we got them. So you just can't own them, first of all. Secondly, these guys can be pretty dangerous when they're injured. You get some of the bigger species, they will take a finger off with a beak, or the claws, the talons. Yeah, those are not to be fooled with. So you got to be careful. Notify the proper people.
That's right. My suggestion is always, and we got some stuff from Beth we want to cover here too.
Absolutely.
She is a licensed rehab person from Mountain View Wildlife Rehabilitation Center in Hazard. But one thing that I try to tell people is when you have a scenario with what you think is an injured wildlife, always try to, everybody's got cell phones now.
Sure.
Try to stick around and watch it from a distance and call the proper people.
Absolutely.
And don't try to intervene, because it may be a situation to where it just needs a little bit of time or whatever, but the best rehab or the best chance for that animal is for it to be right where it's at. That's its home range.
Yes.
And whatever, and like Beth said here, capture myopathy is what people don't understand too. The stress and everything that you put up on these animals.
Well, it's a big deal, and you can watch the stress factor rise in these hawks or owls, whatever we're going to talk about there. Just from the standpoint of the people catching them, and I've went out and caught them and brought them in because they were injured, and you can watch the stress factor. And I was telling you before we got on the show, we had a blue herring a couple weeks ago, and not a happy camper. And the stress factor of him just being, as long as we had him in his room with his goldfish and his water, he was a happy camper. But we came in there and his stress level went through the roof. Yeah. And every time that we had to wrangle him and x-ray him or sedate him, it was a pretty traumatic experience. And the raptors and the waterfowl, they're not what we would define as hardy animals when you're working on them medically. They don't handle anesthesia well. It's a big stress factor, man. And I've had more than a couple over the years. These guys come in and they didn't need nothing but just to sit there on the side of the road, get their bearings. fly off.
That's right.
And they have to go back. The raptors have to go back. At least the majority of those, if not all of them, have to go back to where you found them from because they breed in pairs. That's their range. They don't relocate, and they got to go back. It's kind of a big deal.
It is, man. It is. You know, that's like with reptiles. You know,
Yeah.
When we, of course, there at the park, we relocate. You know, the park is a sanctuary.
Yeah.
You know, for all things native. So, you know, we'll go out and we'll you know, I'll catch. I say we. There's a couple other people in the park, but we'll catch copperheads and rattlesnakes and take them away from high use areas or if somebody sees one. We don't kill them. You know, I can't protect the white-tailed deer and be much of a naturalist and say and not protect
Copperhead and rattlesnake.
That's right.
It's
and
part of
all
the environment.
things.
It's
That's
part
right.
of the ecosystem. Yeah.
So, you know, but even with relocation, which is what we're doing with these rehabbed animals, you know, certain animals, just like reptiles, only have about a 40 to 60% chance of survival rate because once you take them out of their home range, box turtles, for instance, you know, everybody wants to stop on the road and rescue a box turtle. That's fine. Get it out of the road. But once you take it out of that scenario, a box turtle, eastern box turtle, lives in an area about the size of a football field and can live to be close to 100 years old.
That's amazing.
You know, so once you take him out of that, you've taken him away from his food, his water, his shelter, but more importantly, his hibernation place.
Right.
So, you know, people need to understand before they make that move what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that a lot of times, just to kind of bring it back to the TLC part of it, I think a lot of times people see hunters and they got an entirely different perspective, but I think true hunters want the ecosystem to be sustained.
That's
and,
right.
And hunting plays a massive role in that to keep the population under control. But you can't be an avid hunter and bring chaos to the rest of the system. And it's important that we leave these guys be.
That's right.
It's a huge part of them surviving is letting them stay in their current environment.
Yeah. Keep wildlife wild.
That's right.
Yep.
That's a good way to put that.
That's right.
You should put that on a shirt, man.
Hey, man, that'd make a good one,
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
it? And Beth also said, and we appreciate you,
Yeah,
Beth,
Beth.
so much, also said that people have no idea that people have the ideal
Right.
that once these animals are brought to a rehabilitator or to a vet, now we're talking about wildlife,
Right.
you know, that nothing can go wrong. And unfortunately, you know, once you get it to a person that's been trained and licensed like Beth
Right.
or even farther like yourself, you know, that's given that animal the best chance of survival after something's go wrong. But even then, at best case scenario, it's not always foolproof.
It's not, and there's a high mortality rate for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think that. They think it crosses their door and lives, and that's not the scenario.
That's right.
It's not as good as people think it is. Much better off in the natural environment.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. What are we missing? Anything else you'd like to tell folks about either the hospital or about the services that you are or about wildlife? This has been a great, man. I hope we've said something tonight. One thing before we get to our closing is, you know, I always say to kind of build on what you said there a while ago, I always say, and people look at me like I'm crazy, a good ethical hunter is an animal's best friend.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, you're crazy. You know, you want to kill these animals. No, sir. That's not what I want to do.
No.
I want to make a few harvests, but I want the rest of this resource to be here for generations to come. And I will do and whatever I can to go above and beyond to make sure that happens.
I think it's a crucial aspect, and you know, I don't know how things were when you was coming up on your side of the family, but my family that hunted was pretty good about that. But there was a lot of people on their perimeter that was not.
Yeah.
And they were pretty hard, heavy hitters, and hunted whenever, whatever, however, whoever. And it's hard on the system.
It is.
And a lot of things wind up suffering because of that. If you go back to when, back to the 70s and the early 80s when I was a kid, born and coming up, man, we didn't have deer.
Yeah.
We didn't, barely seen skunks. We didn't see raccoons. We surely didn't have elk. We didn't have bear. People mentioned mountain lions and whatever. We didn't have those. Maybe we don't have them now, according to some people. But whatever, you know. But we definitely didn't have them then.
Yeah.
And those things, and now we've got it. And part of that is because of the way that population has been handled and hunting has been handled, and it's allowed it blossom into what we've got now.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, here's what I want people out there to understand is their role in this vital system.
Yeah.
We've got a fantastic, the best Fish and Wildlife Department in the United States. The accomplishments by the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife is second to none in our nation. But even with the great fight that these men and women put up, they are few when you compare it to the other.
That's doing damage.
I don't know what the population, 300 million in Kentucky, whatever it is. You know, they are few when it comes to that. So when you talk about our father's times, I can remember my dad coming in and seeing a track or seeing scat or seeing a rub, and that was a successful hunt. He hunted 7 years before he killed his first deer.
Right.
You know, going from 80 to 87. You know, that imprint, that reasoning behind that is because of the imprint of people decades,
Yeah.
you know, centuries before us.
Yeah.
So now I feel like that the overall majority of people taking care of the resource. Now, Fish and Wildlife's leading the reins and jerking the reins around, but there are a few. It takes the whole, and I hope that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so too, and I think so on a lot of levels that we are. And I think there's just a better understanding. I mean, let's just be honest, man. We're much more educated about that stuff now than we were then. It's not because of even what we do. There's just more information out there. I do think we see a difference, but I still don't think that it's enough of what we should see.
That's absolutely, man. What are we missing? Closing out.
Nothing right off the top of my head that I can think of.
Yeah.
Just glad to be here.
Hey, and I appreciate you being here, man. I'll tell you, you and your staff are a blessing. I want to touch on your faith. You know,
Sure.
You and your staff are a blessing to Eastern Kentucky. You know, that hospital being there, you know, being able to take our fur babies there and the wildlife and everything. Your facilities like Beth and many other Fish and Wildlife, all these facilities are great, man. But it's not all our work.
Amen. We operate on the motto of blessed to be able to help. And that's been our motto pretty much since we hit that building in 2012. And we often reply even to posts on our Facebook page with that mantra. And we really abide by that. And some days it's easier than others, you know, but we really are. If you're up and you're functioning, you can do something good for your neighbor, you've accomplished something. God's a huge part of my life. I'm blessed to be able to pastor. I was a youth leader for several years, blessed with two wonderful kids and a wonderful wife who is a God-fearing lady, keeps me in line. You know, everybody needs one of them, right?
Yeah.
And but I'm blessed with a staff that is very service-minded, and we actually come in every morning. We pray when we get started. We pray every night before we leave. And we got a prayer request board up in the front office, which with COVID, nobody coming in the building, they don't get a lot of use. But you know, we get to pray with our clients, and we get to minister to their needs, not just through the animals. You know, we've built rapport with these people. Shoot, man, we go to their funerals.
Yeah.
You know, they become family to us.
Yep.
And to be able to show love and compassion, that's the greatest edict that we've got in this life.
That's right, man. And we get our priorities in line, put God first,
Amen.
put the people first, the resources first,
Amen.
and all the rest will fall in place.
That's truth.
Yeah, man.
That'll preach.
Doc, I appreciate you so much. Beth leaves us here tonight, said if people find wildlife that absolutely needs to be brought in, we urge them not, and we already said that, not to try to raise them themselves.
No.
We have special diet replacers, nutrients, and medications that we have been trained on how to use as close to natural habitat as possible.
And let me plug rehabbers like Beth for a minute. They actually have some training that we don't. They put them through some classes with some of the, if some of them they even go through some basic medicine stuff for recommendations. But when it comes to nutrition and diet, husbandry, and habitat for these guys, the rehabbers, they're a step above us a lot of times.
That's awesome, man. But big team, though.
Yes, sir.
Team effort, man.
No big eyes in that mess.
That's right. So we appreciate Beth, Mountain View Wildlife Rehab. We appreciate you, man. Dr. Sean Tussey, Beaver Creek Veterinarian Hospital, and everybody out there fighting a good fight. Don't touch the wildlife.
That's it. Put it on a shirt, man. You'll sell that.
Yeah, keep wildlife wild.
Keep wildlife wild.
That's right, man. Sean, thank you so much for coming out and being with us.
Thanks for
brother.
having me, Trini.
We
Appreciate
it. And we appreciate you all. Thank you for allowing us to do what we do. Thank you for your continued support. Please, if you've not done so, like and share this post. Get the word out there about all things TLC Outfitters, but more importantly, Eastern Kentucky. Go over to our website and check out all the things we got over there. Buy you a shirt, buy you a hat, check out all the hunts, www.tlcoutfitters.com. You can also check us out on Instagram at TLC Outfitters, and then of course right here on Facebook, TLC Outfitters and Bugle Brother Hunting. Huh? Oh, and our new YouTube channel, TLC Outfitters, thanks to Sawyer Adams, man. Huge shout out to Sawyer Adams for all that he does for us and the rest of the gang. How can they find out more about Beaver Creek Veterinary
Facebook
Hospital?
page. We're working on a website, have been for quite some time, but Facebook, Beaver Creek Veterinary Hospital, you can find us there.
Perfect, man. Doc, appreciate you very much, man.
Thanks for having me.
Y'all have a great rest.
Podcast.
Oh, see, we got so much going on.
You got to keep him around.
Don't make his head swell. It's already big enough. Listen, folks, if you've not checked out the Bugling with the Brothers podcast, I urge you to go head over to Spotify, Buzzsprout, Podbean, and SoundCloud. Man, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know what they are, so don't look at
Let me try this one more time. Spotify, Buzzsprout, Podbean. There's a lot of veggies in there, man.
You know.
And SoundCloud. Check out our podcast, Bugling with the Brothers, hosted by our very own Chris Meade. We got a lot of good information going on over there. New episode will be coming up this Friday at 8 p.m. Give us a follow. I've got a shirt contest going on, man. You're going to get 2 shirts. You're going to get a Vortex Optics t-shirt and a TLC Outfitters t-shirt. Check it out. One of the lower posts right here on our Facebook page. Follow the instructions on there. You're going to win 2 t-shirts. We hope you all have a great rest of your week. They got me so tore up I can't even talk now, man. Pray for me.
I hear you. I got you, brother.
Thanks,
Pray
man.
for you. Got your back.
And be sure to check out the podcast Friday. We will see you back here next Wednesday on TLC Outfitters Live. Thank you all.
Eastern Kentucky, where I was raised, where the wildlife and mountains call my name. I was born to hunt, I was born to guide, a camouflage on a rifle by my side. Just good old country boys chasing dreams in the afterlife.